Good afternoon. Welcome to an extra Jon Gaunt show. What an absolutely SH1T week this has been for the UK. It's been a completely shit week. And I'll tell you what we need to do about it, and I'll tell you how we're going to get on top of it. But it needs you to help as well. So if you've got a view, I want to hear it. But we all need to get a grip. This country is in freefall. We used to be the country that won world wars. We liberated Europe twice. We were one of the richest countries in the world. Now look at us. We got idiots who call themselves British, banning Jewish people from actually watching football last night in Birmingham. What happened in Birmingham last night sums up what's wrong with this country. We've diluted everything we are. We've allowed people into our country without them having to fit in. And we've become lazy. And we've allowed terrible politicians to run the country, or in the case of David Lammy, run it into the ground, or in the case of Starmer, run away from the problems. So today, I'm saying what a shit week for the UK. We all need to get a grip. Comment in the box. Tell me if you agree. So what are we going to talk about? Well, I think we've got to talk about the fact that we've had illegal migrant sex offenders on the run. The newspapers and the mainstream media at the moment, the lamestream, are going crazy. We've captured the Algerian sex offender who sexually offended, well, it's paedophilia, wasn't it, against a 14-year-old. He flashed. His name is Brahim Sharif. He's been on the run for over a week. Well, not the run. They released him accidentally. Lammy lied in the House of Commons and said, no, there's not. Well, he didn't actually say it. He avoided the question, but basically made out everything was okay, apart from the fact, or that his only crime was he forgot to put a poppy on his new suit. That man isn't fit for high office. He's not fit to clean the flipping office. No disrespect to cleaners. The man is an arse, a complete and utter arse. And if we had a Prime Minister that had a spine, he'd be sacked. But of course, he can't sack another Deputy Prime Minister, can he, Starmer? Because he's only just sacked Angela Rayner. So they're all going crazy because the Algerian's been caught. How was he caught? Well, I'll tell you how he was caught. A member of the public gave them a tip-off. Because eventually, after a week, they admitted that he wasn't in the prison. Then eventually, after pressure, they actually produced a photo of this monster. Now he's back locked up. But for how long? I haven't got a clue. But he wasn't the first. There was also the Ethiopian, the one who set off the riots, who was based in the Bell Hotel in Epping. So that's the first thing that makes this country at the moment a laughing stock of the world. And where's Starmer? He's hugging a tree, or hugging Sadiq Khan in Brazil, saving the planet. We need to save Britain first, Keir, but you wouldn't know that because you're never here. And Sadiq Khan, why are you there? But even worse, why is the mayor of wherever it is in Yorkshire, Tracy Brabin, why has she gone? It's all a big fat choo-choo. They're all on the gravy train while Britain burns. And then this morning, we hear that income tax is definitely going to rise. According to Rachel Thieves, the crooked Chancellor, the woman who massaged, if we're being polite, her CV, the woman who pretended she was a high-ranking official at the Bank of England, a woman who's got the mathematical skills of Diane Abbott. She's now going to put up taxes, even though she and Keir Starmer promised that would never happen. It's going to go up by 2p. And if you've bought to pee or not to pee, or did. And if you bought an electric car, well, more fool you, because you're going to get hammered away. She is just completely out of her depth. In fact, she's drowning. And in a way, I think Starmer wants her to. She'll be the fall woman, the fall guy, if you want, for what's happened in the budget, what's going to happen. If you think Labour are unpopular now, or Keir Starmer, just wait till you see what happens. And then this week, we've also had the BBC clearly demonstrating its lefty bias. And what about this story about the BBC where they've reprimanded the newsreader who corrected the auto cue when it said pregnant people? She just raised her eyebrows and she said women. Well, the Supreme Court of our country says the only people who are women who are people who are born biologically as a woman. So Maxine, the newsreader, is correct. But no, suddenly the BBC, the biased broadcasting corporation, knows more than the Supreme Court. Tim Davie, who is the Director General of the BBC, this is the final nail in his coffin. Boris Johnson is calling for him to explain the lefty bias. I say it's too late now. He must go, and I'll go further. I would scrap the whole license fee. It's outdated, it's outmoded. People don't even watch linear TV in that way. People have got Amazon. People have got YouTube. They don't need the BBC. And if they do, they can pay for it. And like I've always said, all the knobs who like the Today programme, I couldn't live without the Today programme, flipping pay for it then. Are you with me or against me? What I need you to do, if you've got an opinion on any of these subjects, just write a comment in the comment box and I'll be with you as the show progresses. Spread the word that I'm doing the show. Retweet it out. Tell people that I'm here, because this is going to be one very important show. Let me tell you. So where are we up to? Then we've got Lammy lied. He actually lied in the House of Commons. He has to go. But Starmer won't sack him. I've just had that Matthew Stadlen trying to have a dig at me on X because I took the mickey out of him. He's got upset. He said, oh, should an MP do this? I thought, what is this pathetic, lefty, limp-wristed arsehole going on about now? And then I clicked the tweet he was talking about. You've probably seen it. It's a meme where basically Lammy's in the House of Commons and he suddenly gets a clown suit on. Well, I think that's pretty fair political satire. But Matthew, who of course used to work for the BBC, I first met him when he was a piddling little researcher on Newsnight. I made a film that he had to look after. It was actually about Coventry, and it was about asylum, to be honest with you. But anyway, so he's had a go today saying that no MP should do this, certainly not a minister, because it's Robert Jenrick who put this video up. And I just said, you're like a little snitch at school. He's the kind of kid we'd take behind the bike sheds. We wouldn't even bother giving him a kicking because he'd have cacked his pants before we raised our fist. He's a wimp. But I'll tell you what else he is. He's worked for the BBC and he's looked at Newsnight and he's looked at these programmes and he's thought, oh, there's an opportunity. I'll be the left-wing arsehole. I'm willing to go on any channel. So he hates GB News, but he's on it more than Eamon Holmes. Why? Because he's picking up at least 250 quid a performance. And it is a performance. He goes on there and plays the left-wing card. I don't mind him having left-wing views, but I don't even think they're genuine. I just think the guy is a performer, a rubbish performer, but in talk radio, the genre, they're all like this now. Nobody is actually genuine. And people want authenticity. That is why they're going to the alternative media. That's why they're looking at what I'm doing. That's why they're looking at what people like Dan Wootton are doing. Even if you don't agree with him, you do know he means what he says. This lot all want to play devil's advocate. They've all become LBC light. They're all James O'Brien. And Matthew Stadlen is a prime example of it. And I'm calling you, Matthew. Anytime you want to come on my show, you won't be getting 250 quid, mate. But I'm willing to take you on anytime you fancy, because I despise people like you. You take the money. You're like a Judas Iscariot of talk. That's what you are. You go on there and you come out with any shit that you think will trigger people. And I just think people should stop employing you. You're a bit like who's that woman they used to always have on who does the same thing? It's just nonsense. You may want to comment. It's only a minor point of what I'm talking about today. Also, what about the fact Lammy forgot to put a poppy on? A poppy. That sums him up. And then, of course, there was last night. Islamist thugs driving Jewish fans out of our beautiful game. I lay the responsibility for this on the Chief Constable of the West Midlands. He's the clown. He loves dressing up. He's like Stadlen. He's another one. He loves dressing up. He loves putting on a turban or a cloth on his head because he's visiting some religious minority. They must all laugh at him. He's the one who basically said, oh, the Muslims can patrol their streets themselves when we're having the riots. He wouldn't say that to white people, would he? And then he's the one, along with his little committee, who said that the game with the Tel Aviv fans, that they couldn't come. So they were forced into a position where the club had to say, okay, you can't come to the game. But that wasn't enough for the extremists, one of whom, of course, represented the Manchester airport thugs. No, he wanted victory. He wanted to be the boss. And that's one of the problems with the Muslim Islamist extremists. They don't want to live side by side. They want to be in charge. That is not living together. That is not multiculturalism working. When they put up posters around Aston, basically saying all Jews, effectively all Israelis, are war criminals, it's a disgrace. And they go on about free Palestine. We've spent millions, billions, giving them, delivering them what they want. Now they just want the fighting to continue. Why? Because Hamas, who tacitly they all support, have been in charge for 14 years, and it would appear they're happy to chuck people off the top of high-rise flats. There's plenty of them in Birmingham. They should have actually had this protest at Birmingham City. There's more flats near there. My point is this. We've allowed this. We've allowed these conflicts, whether they're in Pakistan versus India, whether they're in Gaza, we've imported that into our country. Now, the majority of Muslims are sensible people. They just want to get on with their lives, with their businesses, their jobs, and bring up their kids correctly. I'm talking about the Islamist fascists. And we haven't got politicians who are willing to stand up to them. Last night, Sly News, they had the bloke on, the one who was the lawyer representing the Manchester Yobbos. He was showing you how to, if you've got a baseball bat, make sure you take a ball as well, because what you're only doing is you're not using it for self-defense or to be aggressive. You're going to have a game of baseball after a protest. That's effectively what he was saying. How can he get interviewed? Oh, and not just him. What about the Ethiopian sex offender who Sly News interviewed, but they won't interview Tommy Robinson? Tommy Robinson is a bigger threat in the eyes of Sly News and mainstream media, and indeed particularly the BBC, than some extremist Muslim thug. That can't be right, can it? It can't be right. And last night, 700 coppers employed to keep these lot in control. They said they were going to get $250,000 there. That's the only good news in this whole story. And well done to the mainstream Muslims who ignored the call to basically riot. They didn't go. There was only a few hundred there. They were outnumbered by the cops. But even so, the team had to come in a disguised coach. They had to play with no supporters. They lost 2-1, as I believe. And I just think the whole thing's wrong. Get politics out of the beautiful game, but not with our chief constable in the West Midlands. No, he wants to appease. He wants to appease these fascists. I don't think he can stay in his job either. He needs to go. But we've got a Prime Minister who hasn't got any bollocks, so it ain't going to happen. I don't even know when Starmer's coming back, do you? Because that conference, cop a load of freebies or whatever it's called, 30, it's not even starting properly till next week. Is he staying for next week as well? And then he's there talking about climate change. But guess who's not there? India or Russia, China, and indeed the United States of America. What an absolute waste of time and space. The only contribution to global warming is all the bullshit that they're coming out with in the middle of the rainforest where they've cleared 8 miles of the forest to build a road to get to it. Oh, that's right on. And then we got Prince William turning into his dad, making a ridiculous speech last night. I've got to tell you something, William. I quite like you. But you don't speak for me, you plonker. You do not speak for me. And I don't think you speak for the majority of Britain either. If you want to keep the royal family going, you need to put British people first and stop playing the planet's going to go. He was doing the whole, what's her name? Greta Thunberg routine. We're all going to drown. We're all going to boil to death. We're all going to be like this. We're going to be like a frog in a liquidizer. No, we're not. But what we've got to do is get on top of the countries who are polluting, of course. But making out that we've all got to try an electric car. But by the way, Rachel Reeves is now going to charge you 3p a mile. She's ripped you off again. But let's bring it all back to Keir Starmer. He is hugging trees in Brazil whilst there is literally anarchy on our streets. Oh, and people like Matthew, he was another one along with that idiot Terry Christian. Yeah. Why has he got a voice? But anyway, good luck to him. Terry Christian and Stadland, they were going on all last week about, I see the gammon have shut up. There's been nobody coming in on the boats. Everything's fine. I think I said in the week, have you seen the weather? The weather's been terrible. That's why. Anyway, let me just tell you the news, the terrible news. Over 1,000 flip-flop warriors, men of fighting age, because they're all men, aren't they? There's a few women, but the majority of them are men, have entered Britain via Dover, via an illegal route in the last 24 hours. Over 1,000. It could go up to 1,200 or 1,300. What's Starmer doing about it? He's left Lammy in charge. Lammy can't be left in charge of a packet of Jaffa cakes. He'd eat them all. The fat get. And there's no way he got that suit. Listen to me. When I had money, I had suits made for me because I'm a big fella, right? And they were brilliant. Brilliant. They cost a fortune. There's no way the suit he was wearing yesterday was off the peg. He's not got the right body to buy off the peg. That was made to measure. So all this nonsense, he was out getting a suit. Your job is to look after the country, you fat tub of lard. Do you remember the Labour anthem? Coming to your views now. Things can only get better. That's what it was, wasn't it? Things can only get better from now on. I say, my arse. What do you say? Love to have your views. Let's get talking. Loads of people waiting to get their comments up. Keep them coming in, and I'll come to you as soon as I can. Please keep smashing the like button. 18 on there at the moment. Not bad for an unannounced show. Let's have some more. Tell all your mates I'm on at the moment. And if you'd like to donate, you know what you've got to do. www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. Or alternatively, feel free to smash the little $sign on the YouTube video and make sure you subscribe. It's free to Jon Gaunt TV. I really want to push the subscription numbers this weekend. Let's get going. Right, where should we start? Where are we? Crag says, John, I hope you and your family are well. Thank you for talking more sense than the clowns in Parliament. Well, it's not difficult, is it? Kev Peebles, hi, John. What the hell is happening here? How do we serve or save our nation? Kevin Birmingham, what's left of it, he says in comments. I couldn't believe what I saw last night. I couldn't believe it. And I kept thinking, if that was the Countryside Alliance, if that was the farmers, let alone Tommy Robinson supporters, would the police have just stood by? No. Some of those twats were shouting things like Allah Akbar. It's clear what they were doing. They were intimidating people. And then what about the police? They made all the Jewish people who turn up go into like an outdoor basketball court, which had like fencing around it. And I've got to agree with the Jewish fella off GB News who said it was like a Jew cage. I think he's right. Suddenly, Jewish people, well, here's the surprise, they were the villains again. Well, the BBC would love that because this is another thing that they're getting hammered for now at the moment. Their bias, especially on the BBC Arabic service, towards Hamas and the Palestinian liberation people. They've portrayed all the Jews as genocidal killers. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. It's a lie. Just like the way they've stitched together that video of Trump. The BBC have got to go. But you see, and this is where I'm coming to. This is what we've got to work out in our heads. Who's the enemy and how do we get rid of them? How do we get the politicians we want? Because at the moment, we're kind of getting the politicians we deserve. We're not making enough noise. We're just not. So that's why it's been a shit week this week. Annette Locke says, had enough of it all. I cannot wait another 4 years. We're going to be finished. Well, that's the whole point, Annette. We cannot wait. We need change, and we need change now. The first thing we need is to get that useless Starmer back. He can answer some questions on Mandelson. He can answer some questions on Lammy. What about Rayner fiddling stamp duty? That's not been satisfactorily answered. What about the Chancellor fiddling 360 quid by not getting the correct licenses? I was talking to a mate of mine, he's a surveyor, and he said if a normal landlord did what she did, they'd be absolutely hammered. And just while I'm on this subject, did you see the old boy today? It sounds like the introduction to a song, doesn't it? Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. Ralph McTell, surely. But anyway, there's an old boy today, a veteran, and they were talking to him on, what's that crap show on ITV, GMTV News or whatever. And they asked him, effectively, you fought for a land of heroes. And I used to say this a lot when I was on talk radio. Those boys and girls, they laid down their lives for a land fit for heroes. We've created a land for zeros. And he effectively said that today. He said, I see all those white, and the way he said it was brilliant, all those white gravestones. He drew the picture. And I thought, and I think, was it worth it? An old boy, a war hero coming out with that. And it's right. But you see, if you say these things like I'm saying, you're always walking this tightrope that someone's going to say you're a racist. You're basically saying, oh, it's all the immigrants' fault. And I'm not saying that. Immigrants have come into this country. They saved my bloody life when I was in hospital. Almost all of them were of immigrant stock. Fantastic. Thank you very, very much. But these people didn't arrive in a boat. It's like when they talk about, well, what about the Filipinos? They didn't come in a rubber dinghy with flip-flops on and designer tracksuits and a mobile phone in the hand and a leather jacket on the back and hop off it at Dover. They came through the correct route. Well-controlled, managed immigration, and they are part of the fabric of our wonderful country, or what should be a wonderful country. I'm against illegal migration. I'm against the overstayers. I'm against the crooks, the criminals, which is what they are. Maybe you disagree with me. Income tax rise will screw more pensioners. She'll try to hide it behind an employee NI fall. Yeah, she will. She'll say NI is down, but this is up. That's how they play it. They're all scumbags. Torsten Bell is a dangerous, demonic psychopath who believes we are plebs. Look him up. I have looked him up, my friend. He gets a lot of press at the moment. Johnny and Sue, thank you very much indeed. They've just contributed a $5 on a super sticker, I think it is, on YouTube. £5. Thank you ever so much. And they say heads will start to roll after the budget, John. Well, yeah, he'll get rid of her after the budget, but how many more people can he get rid of? They're all incompetent. As far as I can see, Lammy's got to go. She's got to go, Rachel Thieves. I'd suggest Yvette Cooper was crap as the Home Secretary. She'll be no better as the Foreign Secretary. So where's he go? He's got no experience. He's got no talent. But then we look at the Tories. They're not much better, are they? For God's sake, let's give Nigel Farage a chance. What do you reckon? Jackie Ward, God help us if there's a major catastrophe in this country. They'll all leg it abroad and leave us to our dismal fate. Well, I wouldn't object to that thought. I can't really argue with you. Annette Locke, they will leave this country in tatters before we get the chance to put them out. There's one of my old listeners, Leo Green. Leo, lovely to have you on board. How you doing, mate? How's the music going? You're a top man. If you don't know who he is, look him up. Leo Green. You might know his dad as well. Cheers, Leo. Good to have you on board. And if you're gigging, you can afford a $5. Come on, donate. Where are we going next? You can't miss an opportunity. Annette says, spot on, John. Tell you what, I'm going out tonight with my mate Bruce, early doors. We always go early doors, 4:35. And he said, you still want to come? Because I know you've been ill and your mother-in-law's been ill. I said, do I want to come? I'm literally got me tongue on the pavement. I cannot wait to get out of this house and get there. I love my family. I love everything about it. But I've had 3 weeks of having this bloody I think it was COVID. I don't know. Because they say there's no point in having a test now. It's a new strain. I tell you what, it's a cold or a flu like nothing else I've ever had. But I'm ready now. I'm almost fighting fit. I'll certainly be able to try a few bevies. That's what I'm sorry. I'm having a bevy tonight. I am. And I want to wake up with a hangover tomorrow, with a headache from the alcohol, not from the flu. It's probably irresponsible. What are we going to do to change the country? I've got to go soon, so keep getting your ideas in. Another one, John, that does the rounds for defending the Muslims and calls Enoch Powell a racist is that nauseating mouthpiece, Kevin Maguire. What a Burke. Well, Kevin Maguire, he works for the Daily Mirror. That's the end of the story. That's all you need to know. No one buys it. No one reads it. He's a twat. Forget him. He's a jerk. And he's another one, isn't he? He's like Jon Snow on Channel 4. Oh, don't wear a poppy. I won't be told when to wear a poppy. I won't be done. Childish sixth former. That's what he is. That's for Enoch Powell. I've got to say, and I always tell the truth, Enoch Powell said some good things, but he wasn't completely right. And his language was wrong. Just my view. But we're allowed to have varying shades of grey in a grown-up world, aren't we? Not in Matthew Stadland's world. It's all, I'm left-wing. I don't think he was that left-wing when he was at public school. Because he's another one. He went to public school. Then he pontificates on the telly. And I tell you something else I'm getting fed up of. And this is me being an old fart now. Why are all the political commentators on telly so young they haven't even started shaving? What do they know about anything? I always used to say you don't know anything about politics, real politics. See if you agree with me on this. Until you've had a child. Because when you've had a child, and only women can have children, by the way. Sorry, BBC, but it's the truth. Only women can have children, and a woman is someone who's biologically born it, not some bloke with a cock who just suddenly decides to wear a frock. Sorry, if that upsets you, but that's the facts. Only when you've had children, either as the father or the mother, do you understand politics. Only when you've got your own dustbin, is how I used to say it as well, right? Because then things matter. Like, has the dustbin been picked up this week? Have they changed the day? A child. Can I get a doctor? Can I get a doctor's appointment? Is my child well? I believe that when you go to sleep, usually drunk as a bloke, after your wife's given birth, right? I remember going home and we went and wet the baby's head, right? My mate Sam was there. His wife Anna had just had a baby. I said, "You're pissed already." He says, "Yeah, well, I'm drinking for 3." Oh, no, for him, the baby, and Anna. But anyway, you go to bed, and I think what happens is, in the night, some little trolls come into the bedroom with a big syringe, and they suck out your brains and your consciousness and everything. And then they put something else in the other ear. Because the next day, this was what happened to me. You're a father, and you are different. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me? And that's why I wouldn't let people vote till they're older. Forget about lowering the age. We need to be increasing it. And if I see more of this nonsense on telly about, oh, what about the Z community? Or the Z, what is it? Generation Z. The letter is Z, not Z. And their concerns, oh, we're not going to be able to ever be able to buy a house. We can't do this. We can't do it. Shut the fuck up. It's always a struggle, always has been. But they've become political commentators. There must be a factory somewhere manufacturing them. Oh, there's a left-wing one. He can go here. Put the Matthew Stadland peanut brain in that one. There's the Kevin Maguire. He's a bit older, isn't he? He's older than me. There's the Kevin Maguire one. Oh, there's a young Tory. He hasn't started shaving yet. Well, that's because it's a woman, not a... Oh, you know what I'm trying to say. It's true, isn't it? And as oldies, we don't get a look in. I've just watched a video where a lefty commentator, oh, don't get me started on him, Benjamin Butterworth, said David Lammy was a graduate of Harvard Law School and is one of the most intelligent men in the UK. I had to rewind it. I thought I misheard him. Listen, I went to university with some very, very educated people. They had no fucking common sense. He may have gone to Harvard. He's not intelligent. He's educated maybe, but he's not intelligent. He's as thick as two short planks. The game at Aston Villa should have been played behind closed gates, says Julie Rowley. The Israelis should never have been banned. Well, I agree with that bit. If they were banned, the Muslims should have been banned too. It's two-tier justice. The Muslims didn't want to even go. They turned up at a football match they didn't want to watch. And you're wrong. It shouldn't have been behind closed doors. The chief constable should have had a spine and said, this game is going ahead. He's had to spend. How much money does it cost anyway? We had to have 700 coppers outside the ground. He wouldn't have spent that much if the game had happened. It's just nonsense. Who is running the country? Because as all eyes can see, it's not Starmer. Great show, great topic, says Fraser Ford. Thank you, my friend. The wind on planet Earth takes care of pollution naturally. Khan is talking crap. Thank you very much indeed. I'm not sure about that. Just realised you were live so late to the party, says Jim Garfield. Apologies if you've covered this. Did you see Liz Kershaw's tweet? A man with a sign from the river to the sea standing blatantly outside Villa Park. I didn't see that tweet of hers, but she's been saying some good things recently, Liz. I've lost you now. Liz Kershaw. Anyway, so you've mentioned it, Jim, so thank you for that. And Jim has also just donated £10. Thank you very much indeed, Jim Garfield. Yeah, Liz is a good woman. Why isn't she on telly more? She should be on GB News more. She's a mother, right? Got kids, grown up, and the rest of it. Been through a bit of a bad time in her life at times. What she doesn't know about music isn't worth knowing. She's brassy, she's northern, she says it as it is, but she never gets on telly to duff up idiots like Benjamin Butterworth. He's always there. Or they put on that woman, Carol, whatever her name is. She plays the lefty part, Carol Malone. Why don't they get somebody like Liz on? Genuine. Carl Eves, thank you very much indeed, is one of my oldest listeners. He's just sent a super sticker of $9.99, which is a tenner. Thank you very, very much indeed for that. Right, where are we going next? I've just watched a video that was about Benjamin Butterworth. He's a nice fella, Benjamin, and he's got an interesting background. He's brought up by his granny. He has gotten it, and his mum had some sort of, forgive me if I'm wrong, but alcoholic or drugs problem. He's got an interesting background, but then he's turned into a lefty. I don't get it. But anyway, he's a nice enough fella. He is. Shut up. He is. Where are we going next? Hammer Joystick 123 on YouTube. Things can only get wetter. That is superb. I wish I'd thought about that line. I'll nick that. It was nothing to do with football. It's only to do with religion. Talking about last night. Got to agree with you. If you want to comment, what time is it? 35 minutes. I don't think my voice will stand much more. So, and I've got hiccups now. I'll give you another 5 or 10 minutes. If you'd like to donate, you can still get on. Please donate. You go to the top of the queue, click the little $sign and donate as much or as little as you can. Anybody going to be a tenner today? Just click on there. All the money goes to keep these podcasts going. And if you're listening on an audio podcast, don't forget you can just go to YouTube. Jon Gaunt TV is the name of the channel. It'll ask you if you want to subscribe. Say yes, because it doesn't cost any money. Then you'll get notice every time I'm going live. Plus, you can also see all the archive of everything I've recorded since I started doing these. So you can go and have a look at that. And, excuse me, keep yourself entertained. How can we not get the Labour Party into court for treason against the English people? How can we not have them in court for endangering the public? Well, endangering the public, I think we've got a better chance, Lee Nash on Facebook, because they are putting us in danger. With all these undocumented men, I don't know if you're new to the show, Lee, but I've been saying for months now, if I got Starmer on the beach at Dover, I mean, if I could resist drowning the little twat in the sea, I'd ask him a question. I'd say, look at that dinghy there. See it? Or look at that lifeboat, RNLI. See all the guys getting off? There's 80 of them, Keir. Do you know any of them? Oh, okay. Simpler question. Do you know where any one of them have come from? Well, they haven't got passports. Why haven't they got passports, Sir Keir? I'll tell you, Sir Keir. They've thrown them overboard. All right. So you don't know who they are. You don't know where they've come from. Do you know they're of fighting age? Well, what do you mean by that? Don't be such a racist. No, Sir Keir. They're all between 16 and 25, 30, aren't they, Sir Keir? The flip-flop warriors. Where are you going to put them? Shall we put them behind barbed wire and lock them in? Then they can still have a gym and all these other things they need to occupy themselves. What do you mean, no, Sir Keir? You're going to put them in houses of multiple occupation. Oh, right. Are they moving into number 9 or 11 Downing Street or next to one of your 3 houses that got attacked by Ukrainian arsonists, allegedly? Or, let me just get it right, are they going to live next to Lord Ali in his £18 million penthouse that your son lived in when he was doing his A-levels because he was getting disturbed by all the press interest? No. What do you mean no, Sir Keir? Where are you going to put him? Fosil in Coventry? Oh, right. Nuneaton? Oh, right. Next door to me? Oh, right, okay. Or in hotels, like the Bell Hotel in Epping. And when one of them, in the Bell Hotel in Epping, there's more than one, there's several now, commit sexual offences against young, white, British girls, are you then going to move the lot of them into army camps? Well, oh, yeah, okay. Now you are. Oh, yeah, but you can't. What's that, Sir Keir? Oh, they've got asbestos in them. The one in Scotland, in Inverness. Poor loves. How about putting them in an army tent? You know, when we go to Pakistan, when there's a flood, we look after people. No doubt we're doing it in Jamaica, which I agree with, by the way. If the tents are good enough for our boys, are they not good enough for everyone? Just doesn't add up, does it? And then I'll say to him, do you want me to drown you or are you going to go in, King Canute? Because you're not turning this wave back, are you? Hi, John. This country is a shadow of its former self. I served 6 years in the army, 28 years in the police. I salute you. Can someone please tell me why I bothered? I was proud. I'm now questioning my contribution, says Carl Eves. And thank you for your contribution to my money today, for your donation, Carl. He's sent a tenner. Just before move on from that, though, there's a new survey out today that evidently we're more divided than ever. And people, we don't feel they have this survey every year because of Remembrance Day. But what a world we're living in. What a country we're living in. We've given it all away. I know I might annoy some people. I watch short videos about what Margaret Thatcher said about migration and socialism. She was 100% right. And socialism too. Just watch on YouTube. See if it's wrong. I know exactly what you're talking about, James. Simon Hatt says, I know how that old World War II veteran feels. The country was ruined by Blair and every prime minister since. Two-tier Keir is just the worst of our appalling political class to date. Simon Hatt on Facebook. I saw on Facebook, Simon, are you in hospital? I hope you're okay. Well, whatever, get well if it's the same person. So who's donated? There's Carl Eves with a tenner. Thank you, Cars. Jim Garfield with a tenner. Don't forget, you don't have to donate here. You can do it on Buy Me a Coffee, www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. Right, how many more is there? Because I really am now knackered. They are supposed to come from war-torn countries, yet none of them come here with injuries or with trauma, but they all come with big smiles on their faces. Now, if they're from war-torn countries, then Starmer is perfect. Thank you, David. I love your cynical approach. They pick the young because they're not old enough to think, just good at spouting what they're told to say. You're talking about political commentators on the telly. I think you're right in it. Yeah, they play the script, because when you see these debates on mainstream telly, you do realise how it works. Do you want me to tell you? They ring you up and they say, oh, Gaunty, would you come on and talk about X? I'll tell you a classic example. I've told this story before. It was BBC or Sly. It was one of them. Will you come on and talk about whatever it was? So I said, yeah, I think this, I think that. Yeah, that's fine. I asked you a few questions because they've got to give the presenters, who are normally as thick as pig shit, they've got to give them some questions to ask you, right? And then they said, oh, what do you think? Do you think people who live in the country have got it easy? I said, how do you mean? Well, people live in the country. It's not like people live in... They obviously thought I lived in the urban area. I'd lived in the country for 30-odd years. In Warwickshire, then in Northamptonshire, right? I lived next door to labourers who worked on the hunt, right? They were responsible for sorting out the fences and all the rest of it, the hedges and the rest of it. Agricultural labourers. My house was worth an absolute fortune. Theirs was worth nothing, right? But I'm just saying it was in the same village. So they give you all this nonsense. And I say, well, actually, I think where I live at the moment in Northamptonshire, there's only one bus a week. There's no facilities. There's no local swimming pool. There's no street lights. There's no, thank God, it was lovely. I used to love that. No light pollution. But anyway, I said, no, I think people in the countryside have got it worse than people in towns. This is the young researcher on the end of the phone. Oh, shit, he's saying so much I can't control. Okay, Mr. Starts calling me Mr. Gaunt. Okay, Mr. Gaunt, we'll call you back. I'll have a chat with the producer. Click, click, word. You never hear back from them. If you say, yeah, I agree with you, people in the country, what a bunch of arses, whatever, they'll have you on. That's how it works. It's all staged, managed, especially programs like The Right Stuff. It's not called that anymore, is it? It's now, got to be careful what I say about him. It's Bicycle Mad Jeremy, isn't it? What's his surname? I want to say Hunt, but it's not, is it? What's his surname? Jeremy Vine. I used to call him Jeremy Wide. He's all right, but the program is bollocks because it's not real. Did I ever tell you when I turned up to do Alan Titchmarsh in the afternoon? I shall save his blushes and not tell you who this person was. But a lot of you love him, right? And you think he's great, right? Fair enough. He says, all right, Gaunty. I says, all right, name deleted, redacted. He says, so we're talking, I don't remember what it was about, abortion or something. He said, what side are you on? I said, what do you mean, what side am I on? He said, well, what will you be saying? I said, well, I'd say what I always say. You must have heard me talk about it. I've written columns about it. This is what I think. Oh, okay, then. I'll take the other view. Is that all right with you, John? I said, fucking do whatever you want, mate. I'll still destroy you. Whatever side you want. But that's what it's like. And this guy is one of the top talk jocks in the country. You probably love him. He's a fraud, an absolute fraud. But they all are, because if you want to keep earning and they pay you 200, 250, 500 quid, you get a 2 or 3 of them a week. I mean, I'd love that at the moment. I don't get it anymore. If I did 2 tellies like that a week, I wouldn't need to do anything else. Well, I'd still carry on doing this, wouldn't I? But I'm trying to tell you, it's all showbiz. It's all showbiz. Most of them don't believe what they say. Honourable exceptions, George Galloway, myself. Who else is genuine? I'll have to come back to you on that one. Can't think of anyone at the moment. Oh, Liz Kershaw, but that's why she's not on the telly anymore. That hundreds of cops football match, but not on Dover Beach. What a brilliant point, Phil. I'm going to nick that for one of my podcasts later. Kevin Cunning, thank you, Kevin. He's donated a £5. It comes up as $4.99. I think because he's done it on a Mac. But that's brilliant. Thank you, Kevin. Anybody else going to tell me, can we make things any better? Maybe that's what we'll do in the next show. Come on, John. We know they took about 30 to 40, but they're all 14 to 15. Oh, we know they look 30 to 40, but they're all 14 to 15, according to the wonderful Home Office chat staff. Yes. Okay. Thank you. And here's Simon Hatt saying, letting me out this evening, John. I'll live, mate. Cheers. Because he's the one who I said, I noticed him on Facebook today. He hasn't mentioned he's been in Aussie, but he's been in hospital. And I thought, oh, I hope he's okay. He's still been taking part. Simon, get well soon. I can't afford to lose any more listeners. Anyway, that's me done. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks for your donations. Thanks for your contributions. Hopefully, by Sunday afternoon when I do a live show, it'll be about 2, maybe 3. Keep an eye out for that one. But the best way to check is to join Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube. Just subscribe. It's free. Then you won't miss any shows. You can also look at the old shows as well. So I'll be back on Sunday, but I'm definitely back Monday at 6:30 on my normal live slot. I'm going to go out now, if it's okay with you. I'm really looking forward to it. Friday night, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Friday night's all right for fighting. No, that's Saturday night. Jackie Ward, she sent me 3 hearts. Thank you, Jackie. George Galloway, hated, but one of the best truth speakers about. That's right. You don't have to like him, Annette, but at least you know he's genuine. You know he does believe what he says. Not the rest of them. Well, I'm going to try and think, because I'm sure there's more than just me and Liz Kershaw. I'll have to have a think about it. All right. If you want to donate, now you can go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. Do the little $sign here. Have a great night tonight, Friday, and have a great day tomorrow. We're going to beat Stoke. I've had loads of people saying today, do you remember what you said a year ago? You know, when they sacked Mark Robbins, I said it was wrong. I said Doug King was wrong, the chairman. I said Frank Lampard will never make it. I have apologised already, but I guess today I'm going to have to apologise again, because Doug, whatever his name is, King, and he's only the custodian. He doesn't really own it, does he? But Frank Lampard, what they've done for Coventry is brilliant. So I was wrong. And you know what? There's something for you. I'm big enough to admit it. Matthew Stadland, perhaps, sweetheart, you should try doing that one day. Or perhaps just be honest about your background, you little public schoolboy, you, eh? And Cambridge University. Anyway, back on Monday, definitely, probably here on Sunday. Until then, if you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. You had 48 minutes there, 49 minutes. So give your kids a kiss, give them a hug, and don't forget to tell them you love them. See ya.